Hi everyone, this is Steven. I'm here to show you now how to use your 3D flowers from my new Signature Series collection. Most of the work is done. That's the great part. So the idea, as you can see here on the table, is to make as many flowers and leaves as possible. The leaves are a really important element because this is what we're going to use really to build our background to see it. So let me tell you a little bit about this project and the flowers in general. And I had a shadow box made. This is 20 inches by 20 inches. It's black, and what I did was painted the background black as well. This is a flat black paint, so there's no shine, and it really absorbs all the light, letting the beautiful leaves and flowers come through. Now, as you can see, I have dozens of little flowers made. The key to making the flowers, we showed you how to stitch them. The book shows you how to assemble them, and we have the videos on how to assemble them. But I would always say use as bright of colors as possible. You don't have to match the flowers to each other. You just have to make them look really good by themselves. So the brighter, the better. If they look good by themselves, they'll look amazing together. So I made a whole bunch of flowers, and then here are the leaves. The leaves are easier to make because they're flat, and there's no layers to these. And we have a couple different sizes and shapes of the leaves. So basically make as many leaves as you can. You can see how many I have here, quite a few. So now I have my shadow box, I have all my elements. What do I do next? Well, what I'm going to do is do a pattern that goes kind of through corner to corner like this. So I would start, no glue yet, just all of our pieces, and I'll start laying leaves in. So I'll put one in that corner, I'll put a leaf in that corner, and I'll kind of go, down the middle, much like if we laid these down with real flowers. So I'll add a bunch here and there. And you can see how you need leaves and how they quickly add up. And you're almost covering a good part of this surface of this angle with leaves. That way, whenever you have the flowers down, you don't have to worry about having an area that is not, where you see the black behind it. So the leaves are in all different sizes and shapes, and you can see, from here, how it's starting to have your shape. A little bit tapered on the sides, a little bit wider in the middle. There's no real wrong way to do this. The flowers look so good, just thrown on the table. You can see it here on the sides. These are just thrown here, and they look amazing. So it's almost like you don't have to think that hard about it, which is great. I love it when designs look good without a lot of thought behind them. The hard part is done already. We've already done it. So now I'm going to start adding some flowers in. So I picked some bright ones. Here's a poppy, a sunflower, and you kind of just lay those in, and you get an idea of what this is going to look like, when it's finished. And there's so many good choices here. And then I see in the middle, I see a little bit of a gap. So maybe I'm going to switch these around a little bit, make them a little smaller there. And then I'll kind of scoot my leaves in where I think they're going to go. And then maybe I need another leaf there. So basically, that's how I do a layout. Now here's another added bonus that I'm going to go over before I glue these down. Let me switch this guy out, maybe something a little pinker right there. There we go. Is that my last Signature Series, which was the butterflies, look amazing with this collection. So I happen to have some, go figure, ready to go. But when you see these kind of laid in, I think it's a great finishing touch. So I always like to add, collections that you may have already with new projects, just for, that you could use your designs again, obviously, and because it just complements this so well, especially if you have them like flying off here in a different direction. You see how cool that looks with the little butterflies added in. So that's basically how we lay the design out. So, I could play around with it. Again, nothing's glued down yet. And, we can kind of see what happens, whether you want to switch a flower around. I'm kind of happy with this layout right now. So then what you do is you kind of you go backwards, you remove your butterflies. Optional, of course, if you have it. And then I kind of pull my flowers gently away, kind of one section at a time. So if I'm going to take this flower away, I take my glue gun, and I'll just add a little bit of glue to the back of that leaf, and then glue it down. The idea is it's supposed to be organic. It's supposed to like have a little bit of movement. You know, you don't want to flatten these. The idea is to have a little bit of curl to it. So you can always shape it like we did with the flower petals and add that in as you go. And you can see here, like these are all then glued down. See the smoke coming off of this, so be careful. Safety is always, you know, a priority. If you're doing this with kids, don't let them do this part. They could arrange them all day. I know my kids love to do that part of it, but when it comes time to glue, that's my job. Very important. That being said, I pretty much burn myself all the time with glue. So now we have this section, you know, is kind of glued down. All right, so I added some glue to the first flower, and then you just kind of press it down in the middle, hold your finger there for a minute or so, not even, and the glue will set. And as I go, I'm just going to continue to add, you know, leaves. Like that, and then maybe I'll add my next flower. Again, glue on the back. You don't have to use a ton, and you glue that flower in place. Feel free to play with the angles. If I see that, you know, I see a little gap there, I could just lift it up and add another leaf. That's the best part. And now you can see why you really need a lot of leaves, because they really kind of go quick. You could do leaves in different colors. You could do them in the same color. Again, you could use different shapes and sizes. And we have all of those different things in the tutorial. So now what we can always do is let's speed up the rest of this process, and you'll see how this whole piece comes together, and then we'll make some other things. And now you see how easy it is. So this whole art piece used 8 flowers from the collection in different shades, all really the main size, and then probably about 25 leaves as the background. And you can see I added the butterflies from Signature Series Volume 2. And these are little tiny butterflies, and they, to me, truly make the difference, because to me, butterflies and flowers have always gone together. And this is what you wind up with, this amazing artwork piece in a shadow box on black. Now I want to show you what they look like on green. Similar concept, different color background. I want to show you that these work on anything. Now you see a different color background. So this is a white shadow box with white side panels, and the background I painted green. Now it looks like this might have taken a long time, very abstract. This took about 5 minutes. I just mixed a couple colors of green and magenta paint, just loosely brushed it on and let it dry. The reason I painted this background green is that when I lay the leaves out, if you see little bits of the background poke through, it's like, okay, you don't have to worry about it. And it looks as part of the background. So really not super important. You could use any green paint you've had. This one I want to kind of give you an idea of what like a full coverage piece would look like. So basically I'm laying the leaves out so they completely cover the background. These are some dark green leaves. They're a little darker than the other one. And I'll put those in kind of first and just kind of spread these around. These are obviously in the book as well. So I got some of these guys down, and then I just keep adding these leaves. The edges don't have to be perfect. You could do this on any size, canvas or shadow box, but you basically order any size you want in any color. and they deliver pretty quickly. So I add these into the background and kind of spread them out a little bit. So the background's got some, decent coverage. Okay, just like that. Got some darker ones there. Okay, so now we have a nice base. So if I was going to do a full coverage piece, I would then, glue these down like we did in the previous video. And then we start to drop, the flowers in. And you can see right away how these flowers stand out. So I'll do a big pink one. Maybe I'll do a little blue one down there. And I truly don't think you could do a bad arrangement. I mean, somebody might prove me wrong, but if you can see how these green colors are different, but when you blend them, if you did this with real flowers, I think the difference is what makes it. So if everything was done in the same shade of green, I think it starts to look like kind of boring. But when they're done with all these mixed colors, and again, you just start kind of moving around and layering, and when you mix all these colors together, to me, that's what makes it amazing. And again, you can have two of the same flower in here. You just kind of play with them as you go. And then you use that same technique of basically gluing them down. And you can see, if you see little peaks of green, like here and there, like that's totally okay. And I'm going to use that same technique of adding the butterflies in. And a couple of butterflies from Signature Series Volume 2 make the difference in the piece to make it amazing. So any color background works. If I'm doing like full coverage like this, the green truly looks amazing because you see little bits of it and it's okay. You could paint the green to match the leaves closer if that's what you like. But at the end of the day, you have an amazing shadow box creation. So this is how you make art pieces that are just like mine. I use these same exact techniques with these same flowers. The key, as you could see, is making a lot. And follow along with the tutorial to learn how to make other projects that require a few less flowers, like hats, bags, and things like that. So thank you, and enjoy this collection.